something like that. Yeah.
Right.
It was actually, it was worse than that actually.
But shout out to you. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, but you see, before Obama, whatever people wanted to fix in the States was very different from how bad things had become on our campus. Things were really bad. I mean, there was no shame in the behavior of students. As in, there's no way a parent will come to our school, observe what happens around lunchtime, and say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to send my kid here." It was a disaster. So it was really, really bad, and I think that's part of why things were really difficult eventually for us, because you switch from extreme on this point to another extreme. It was just too big, So there was always a risk that something was going to blow up. Now, I think we realized that also, and I think we were managing it, but you then had someone pour petrol on the little fire that was burning.
Yes.
And the went up in flames.
Yes, and all this kind of things comes up in leadership. It comes up in project management, where you may be trying to bring some kind of reform, but there is the other side of reform you're bringing that you really cannot afford to close your eyes to, or not explore it, and make sure you identify every variables that could any negative thing that can happen, because they tend to come from a blind surprise. They tend to come from a blind spot.
Yeah.
Right.
I think this one was because you actually knew it wasn't even blind. You knew that there was a risk that something could happen, but because I think we were not fully, the teachers were in power. It's just that we were the figureheads. You couldn't necessarily disobey them. Now, I made the point in the book that I think the incident that blew everything up, if the prefects had the opportunity to actually deliberate and
sorry, Bunmi. When we're saying blew everything up, we're talking about a riot that became, unfortunately, the highlight of our set.
Yeah.
We ended up not having a valedictory service. We didn't have a proper send-off from the school because of this one day, half a day event. But go ahead, please.
Yeah. So, I think if the prefects had the opportunity to actually gather and deliberate a response to what was going on, because I don't want to give too much away, my guess is that the prefects will say, "I don't think we can go through with this." It is not necessarily just because we wanted to prevent something blowing up. It's just something that we, in our core, do not agree with. But in the heat of the moment, nobody was going to allow you to deliberate. It was just someone giving you a command.
Right.
And there was this sort of, oh my gosh, where, so we were caught up in the mess, essentially. And that's not to say that, we're 100% innocent. I don't want to say 100% innocent, because we were the hands that the school was using.
All right, so I'll push back at that. I'll push back really fast at that. You were 100% innocent.
Yeah, I mean,
we're not gonna pretend that you and I don't live in the Western world. You were kids. You were children.
Yeah. What I meant was, we were the governing force that the school utilized to cause
all of that. That sentence you just made neutralized itself.
Yeah.
The school government used the force containing kids.
Yeah. It's
right.
It's sad. It really is sad. Yeah.
The victims are the kids. I don't like using the word victim, but they were the kids. Okay, it is what it is. And if you have a problem with that, if anyone has a problem, like I could see how maybe some of our classmates who felt victimized by us could see this otherwise. That's Oyo. That's called Oyo in this time and age. If you haven't educated yourself to a point where you know that kids are kids based on the standard of that society, you were not an adult until you were at least 17 or 18.
I think they largely do. It's just a shame that, there are more things that happened that we weren't aware of that I actually didn't put in the book because it wasn't necessarily my lived experience.
Yes.
So claims about what some people did that they never did, or you were a ringleader of a cult with no real evidence. A lot of people, I mean, just suspending.
I'm glad you left it out of the book, but I want to talk about it a little bit. Okay, what is it that people call cults? Okay, let's educate people a little bit. Okay, cult does not mean it has to be diabolic or you've gone to a babalawo's house to initiate it.
Correct.
That's not what it means.
That's not what we're talking about. Yeah. It's when it's like they're referring to gangs.
Yes, it's a gang of humans who follow a certain type of code to create some kind of disruption.
Yeah,
okay?
Correct.
Especially when it's against the rules and conduct of the society. That is the meaning of cult. Let's educate ourselves, okay? If you, like literally what the prefect did, it don't occur. That could be called a cult.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's educate ourselves. So your pushback, if you're pushing back against the we're not caught, slow it down. We're in 2021 now. We can understand it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't have to be diabolic. It doesn't have to be you're wearing something red or like they do in the Nollywood movie, where the cult have cutlass. No, it doesn't have to be that. If you wrapped clothing around your head to cover your identity, to go steal somebody's lantern, okay?
Well, those guys were not necessarily. They weren't.
Oh no! You didn't steal lantern. You stole a bulb.
No, those I know, right? Those were ninjas, right? And that
right.
Actually didn't. Yeah, the ninjas didn't blow over into cult or gang territory. It was just what anybody who wanted to be an opportunist did.
Like you said in the book. Our parents, they will take you to they will finish it for you. What you were trying to be is just innocent ninja. They will finish it for you. They will call you a cult. Yes. They will suspend you, not because they like you, by the way, to make a name for themselves.
I agree with that. I think there's a massive misunderstanding of assuming that someone who was playing a prank style, who was doing ninja stuff, is a gang member. There's no correlation between the two at all. But unfortunately, the authorities and the parents just didn't have any capacity to listen to any of that. But that was the situation. So, I mean, there were seniors in our rooms who were ninjas who stole our lanterns, right?
Yeah.
Stealing our own objects and then taxing us to pay back what they stole.
Yes. I thought it was hilarious that one of us in the group said the parents came and called them bush people.
I know, right?
That was hilarious. Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah.